When I made my video about the free stocks I'm buying in August of 2021, I said something about DouYu. That maybe if the stock price of DouYu keeps falling, I'm going to buy more. And what's happening? The stock price of DouYu is indeed falling. But when you see a portfolio on eToro, I'm not buying more of DouYu. Therefore, it is important to know why I'm not buying. And it's not really an issue with DouYu itself. There are other factors involved. And today I want to talk about that. Why I'm not buying any more of DouYu right now. And also I want to talk about the lost earnings of DouYu because they were great earnings in my opinion. It is important to talk about that. And we'll talk about the future of DouYu if I see it still as a good investment. Before we go into details and talk about all of this, please make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you are new to the channel, my name is Ishfaaq. I am an elite popular investor on eToro with over $2 million in assets under management. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the coming videos. Let's talk about the second quarter earnings of DouYu. The second quarter ended in June of 2021, on the 30th of June of 2021. Why I'm saying that, this is very important because normally when we are comparing companies, we compare the second quarter to the second quarter of last year. And we need to remember what was happening in the second quarter of 2020. There was a pandemic, especially in China. At the time, the pandemic just started in China and we had all this lockdown. What were people doing then? They were playing video games. So of course, in the first and second quarter of 2020, the revenues, the profits of GameStop, of course, in the first and second quarters of 2020, the revenues and profits of DouYu went up from their normal. And now that the pandemic is over, things are getting back to normal. We cannot really compare 2020, the first and second quarters of 2020 with what's happening today. What we can do is compare today with 2019, with the first and second quarter of 2019. If there is growth, then yes, things are getting better for DouYu. And we can see that there is growth. So I'm just going to go through the numbers. For example, let's look at the revenues. And we can see that the revenues for the second quarter of 2021 were 2.3 billion RMB. Like last year, they were 2.5 billion RMB. So there is a small decline. But if we look at the for 2019, you will see that it is still increasing. This is what matters the most. And another important thing to note is that last year the company made money, but this year they are losing money. And it's because last year was an exceptional year. Overall, DouYu was a company, of course, they are not losing that much money, but they're still a young company, still growing. Over the long term, I believe they can be profitable. This is a good business, a profitable business. So why are they making less revenues? Why are they losing money now? It's because the number of paying users have gone down. Last year was 7.6 million and today it is 7.2 million. So people were playing video games then. They were at home, they were playing video games, but now they don't have the need to play video games. They are not going to pay for DouYu anymore. So now let's talk about why I'm not buying DouYu anymore. The main reason why I started buying DouYu was because they were supposed to be acquired by their competitor Huya. But we know that this deal failed because it was going to create a monopoly and the Chinese government did not want to have this monopoly. If DouYu and Huya merged and then Tencent also were merging their company with these two, Tencent would own 80% of the market share of gaming live stream in China, which is bad. The government did not want that. A lot of conflict between Tencent, between Alibaba and the Chinese government right now. Big tech in China and Chinese government is not seeing eye to eye, we can say. And some Chinese officials call video games a spiritual opium. This has a double meaning. It's not just addictive, that opium is addictive. I believe it also has the meaning that the Opium War, the second Opium War, how it in some way it was a bad defeat for China. This is how eventually the British Empire got to own Hong Kong. So I think it has a double meaning when they are calling it spiritual opium. It's not just that people are addicted to video games, it's also that it is affecting their culture. This is what they want to say. I believe so, because when you're playing video games, you're playing games from Western countries, it's going to affect the Chinese culture and they don't want that to happen. That's why they are going against the education sector, also the private education sector, because they want to make sure that what the Chinese government want the children to be indoctrinated with, this is what they're going to learn. So we can say that things are not going to be good for business in China, for tech in China, and especially for gaming in China in the coming month or even years. Even though today we look at DouYu, we can say that it is undervalued. I believe that investing in DouYu, you should be very careful. It is very risky right now because you don't know what the government will do. I had at some point 4% of my portfolio in DouYu. I was waiting for the deal to happen and things were looking great. Chinese stocks were going up and at some point it reached 8% of my portfolio. What did I do? I did not sell. This was a big mistake which I did because I said that DouYu was no longer undervalued, that I was still holding because of the arbitrage opportunity. Because there was still a big spread in DouYu and Huya, so I was holding because of that. It was a big mistake I made. I should have taken some profits. Not all, but some profits I should have taken. Okay, we can forget about it. Because what happened is that when the stock price of DouYu crashed, I lost all these profits. So even if I invested 4%, it's not 4%, it's not 3% which I lost. But from 8% to today it is about 2%, so 6% of my portfolio. All these losses you can see on my portfolio today, most of them are attributed to only this one stock, DouYu. Even though I made 150% so far this year, but you will see that in the past few months there have been some losses. It's mostly because of this one stock, DouYu. But today, of course, the losses are limited because it's only 2%. So even if it falls further, the maximum it can fall is 2%. So losses are limited. But now you may ask me that it is so undervalued today, why I'm not buying more? Yes, I can buy more, but I should not because there are other things I need to take into consideration. First of all, that I am an elite popular investor on eToro. And if I'm investing in DouYu today, and if I'm investing on DouYu today, I'm going to give too much exposure to my copiers to DouYu. This is the way eToro works. eToro works looking at the initial investment. So even if today you use 2% of my portfolio, if someone copies me on eToro, they are going to have 4% exposure to DouYu. And I don't want my copiers to have 4% to DouYu right now. I don't think it is fair to them when I have only 2%. So I'm doing things. I have closed some trades to reopen them to make sure that the discrepancy is minimized. But right now, because I'm an elite popular investor on eToro, I don't want to invest more. I'm waiting. But I have a second portfolio not on eToro. On that second portfolio, I'm actually investing in DouYu. And it's because I said I was going to invest in DouYu. It's not that I lied to you. I said I was going to invest too and I did not do it. It's just that I did not do it in my public portfolio and there are good reasons for that. If I was not a popular investor on eToro, I would have done it. But I cannot do it as a popular investor. There are limitations. But on my second portfolio, which is outside eToro, there I'm investing in DouYu. And I have even invested in some options on DouYu. The options are going to expire in 2023. And if I'm right, the stock price of DouYu recovers then. We can make much more money compared to what I'm making on eToro. Of course, if I'm wrong, then I can lose all that money from this option. But I'm willing to take this risk. This is a risk I cannot take on eToro. On eToro, I have to be more careful because I'm managing money for other people. So when I say that I'm investing in DouYu, but you don't see that I'm investing in DouYu, it's not because I'm lying to you. I'm actually investing in DouYu, but it's on the other portfolio. Another important thing to note is that I already mentioned it, that we need to be careful. We need to wait and see what's happening. So even though I'm investing in DouYu, I'm not investing that much. It's not because the stock is down 80% that I'm investing a lot, like I did with GameStop. With GameStop, I knew for sure that we were going to see that short squeeze, that things were getting out of control. But with DouYu, I am more careful. Because here you don't know what the Chinese government will do. With GameStop, you knew that the US government would not just say, let's say, nationalize GameStop. It won't happen. But in China, things like that can happen. So you want to be careful. The risk on DouYu is increasing. Normally, when a stock price is going down, we will say that the risk is decreasing. But with DouYu, this is the opposite that is happening. Because it was going up, the stock price was going up, there was the arbitrage opportunity. When there is arbitrage opportunity, the risk is very limited because you know there's going to be the acquisition. But now, there is no arbitrage. So the risk increase on DouYu. And with what the Chinese government is doing, of course, the risk is much, much higher now compared to what it was before. So even if stock price is going down, that doesn't mean it is without risk. Risk is increasing. And this is something very different from what we see in the United States, and we need to be careful on this. I already made videos about investing in China, that we need to be careful, and I believe, yes, we need to be careful, especially now, more than ever. Things are changing in China. For the worse, actually. But I believe for the long term, let's say for the next 10, 20 years, things are going to get better in China. It's only temporary that they are taking these measures. This is what I say, because they don't want things to get out of hands. They want to keep the power. In the United States, in 2008, we had the financial crisis. Those banks went out of control. But China, what they want to do, they want to make sure that things like this don't happen. So they are being more careful, more conservative to what we saw in the United States in 2008. And I don't really like government regulations. Even in 2008, if you ask me why the market crashed, I will tell you it's because of too much regulations. But China is a communist country, it's a dictatorship, so you will see regulations there. I know there are many people who don't like investing in China, and I say that it's okay for you if you don't like it, but I believe we need some exposure to China. According to Ray Dalio, not investing in China is very risky. And I agree with that. I'm going to keep my exposure to DouYu. My positions on DouYu will be like this. If the sub price keeps falling, I will follow what will happen. But I'm not going to invest more anytime soon. I'm just following what will happen. On my second portfolio, my secret portfolio, there I'm going to invest. Yes, I will take the opportunity to buy more, because there I am willing to lose that money. It doesn't matter to me. These are experiments I'm doing. But on my main portfolio, I'm not going to invest more in DouYu anytime soon. Of course, I'm following. If the price falls, let's say 20% tomorrow, maybe I will take the opportunity to buy a little more. But I will be very careful right now, especially investing in China in small companies such as DouYu. If you did not invest in DouYu at all, then maybe you can try investing in it. If you are not a popular investor on eToro, maybe you can invest in DouYu. So it depends on you. Your situation, my situation is different. I have been investing in DouYu for months now. So my situation is very different than yours. I'm not telling you not to invest in DouYu. You can put 2% of your portfolio in DouYu. So even if it goes to zero, you know you lose 2%. But if DouYu is a 10-bagger, that 2% becomes 20%. But for me, with 4% today, it's 2% actually because of this fall. But for my copiers, it is 4%. I cannot take that much risk for them. So I'm being careful. So my situation compared to yours is different. I'm not saying that I don't believe in DouYu. This is a great company, but there are other factors involved. The Chinese government, which is of course more powerful than DouYu, and it's not like in the United States that they're going to sue the government and they will win. No, it's not going to happen. So we need to be careful, and especially I need to be careful with other people's money. So let me know in the comments what do you think about DouYu. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe and share. Please watch these two videos if you missed them. Have a nice day and goodbye.